We have a couple of guests joining us now. Retired Border Patrol agent and Terrell County Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland, along with Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council, Art Del Cueto. Great to have both of you back on the show. Thaddeus, I'd like your reaction first to Jason's report on the cartels. Is it getting worse? Is that even possible? And should we expect some kind of escalation of this violence in the weeks ahead? And why isn't the administration doing anything to address this problem?
Howdy, Rick. Thanks for having me back. And no, I'll tell you what, Jason's been to my county and ridden with me, and his reporting spot on. And look, just downriver from us, upriver from us, and Ojinaga, which is across from Presidio, Texas, they've had a lot of violence over the past few days. They have La Línea cartel coming in and shaking things up and making a play for some of those smuggling routes, whether it's illegal alien smuggling routes or their narcotic smuggling routes. But again, to this administration, look, they're not going to do anything that's going to improve the situation along the border. The token efforts they've taken in the last 2 months, 6 months before this election, are no more than that. Token efforts to try to make it look like that they're doing something along the border to appeal to voters, but in fact, things aren't that much better.
Art, I want to bring you in and ask you about when Harris last night asked about the border, didn't offer a plan to stop the illegal crossings. She just went back to blaming Trump for the crisis that she and Biden created. Here's the clip.
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. And let me say that the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now overtime trying to do their job. But you know what happened to that bill? Donald Trump got on the phone, called up some folks in Congress and said, kill the bill.
She loves saying she's the only one who prosecuted illegal trafficking, but she never admits she endorsed the open borders, never apologizes to the families of all the victims of illegal migrant crime. And as my understanding is, the Border Patrol doesn't even like her.
Well, that's absolutely right. Well, I'm going to tell you something, though. 30 years ago, I used to play in a rock band, but it doesn't make me a rock star now, right? And that's part of the problem. It's what has she done lately? What has she actually done this entire time that she's been in office that she could actually have done something about the border? She's done nothing. That clip is also surprising. I'm kind of surprised that she was the only one speaking and she didn't have the other two hosts on the show helping her out, which is what we saw most of last night. But that's absolutely right. She's ignored the Border Patrol. She's ignored the border. And now, in just a few months before her election is when they started talking about the issues at the border. But you got to remember, this entire chaos that we continue to see, we're seeing it because they've created it. They ignored it first and foremost, and they allowed it to continue. And now I think it's too little, too late. In fact, half the things that they're saying is just absolutely not true. And they continue to create that magnet for more and more individuals to come out into the country. It hasn't stopped. The flow hasn't stopped. Why has she not done anything to make it stop now?
And just to be clear, Art, she said, we were going to hire 1,500 more border agents. I'm sure more border agents would help, but that's not the key here. The key is that she abandoned all of the Trump policies and is allowing all these people in. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're 100% right. And you know what? She wants to hire more agents so she can put them in the processing centers so they continue to process more and more individuals to enter the country. That's their plan on why they want to hire more agents to begin with.
Yeah. Thaddeus, why isn't Harris getting challenged on any of this? Why is she being allowed to express concern for the mothers of unborn babies, but not the mothers of girls and young women raped and murdered by illegals? And do you think this matter will make a difference at the polls come November?
So, you talk about why isn't she being challenged? The House did challenge this administration, and they put up the border security bill, H.R. 2, which is an actual border security bill. The soundbite that you just played for Art, which we all saw last night, that's the only soundbite they have to attack Trump on the border, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Look, that Senate bill dealt with immigration, and again, H.R. 2, for your viewers' sake, dealt with border security, what we need at the border. You know, again, this administration is going to continue to duck the questions. Look, she talked for about 1 minute on the border, and then she changed the topic. Truth is, she doesn't have the knowledge about the border, what's going on along the border. And as Art said, you know, they created this mess, and again, it's going to continue.
It's so frustrating, isn't it, to watch her get away with this garbage and not be challenged on it, especially last night. Finally, she's before a couple of alleged reporters or anchors, and they don't challenge her on these very, very important and key topics, critical issues facing all Americans. I don't know about you guys, but I was not impressed. But I am impressed with both of you, Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland and Art Del Cueto. Thanks so much for joining the Leventhal Report. We'll have you on again very soon. Thank you. More on the Leventhal Report right after the break, so stick around.